to my channel. My name is Brianna, and if you are new here, then don't forget to subscribe. I put up videos every single week on various things. And as always, if you would like to follow me on all my social media, and that is right here down below. Today's video, as you can tell from the title, is my best study tips. So I am a forever student, I guess you could say. I don't even know. I did the high school thing, I did the college thing, and now I'm in grad school. And let me tell you, if there is anybody that knows about studying, it's me. I studied math in college, so I had to study my butt off for those, and I'm still studying for my tests that I have in grad school. So I have always been a good studier, and so I've just developed really good habits throughout middle school and high school that sort of went with me through college and grad school, and so now I just kind of know the best ways to study, and I wanted to share some of those tips with you guys to help you guys study your way through school and tests and all that. And since it is midterm season, I figured this would be a good time to post this video. So for people out there that are like, help, I don't really know how to study for this exam, or I've never really had to study like this, I'm gonna give you guys my best tips for doing well. And I want to say I can guarantee you a straight A, because if I say that and it doesn't happen, you people might come for me. So I don't want to say that, but I definitely think these will help your productivity and help you get the grades that you want as long as you put in the work. So if you're interested in hearing my tips, then keep watching. Okay, so I wrote some tips down on my phone just to keep track of, so I can read them off to you guys and sort of explain to you what I mean. So the first thing that you should do when you want to study or when you have to study is set goals. You should always set goals for anything you want to accomplish in life at all, whether it's studying for a test or, I don't know, wanting to accomplish something in life, like getting into college. And you always want to set goals for yourself and figure out what works best for you so that you can do your absolute best. So I always like to set goals when I'm going to study for an exam. For example, I had an exam last week, and for about a week or two before, I sort of just wrote down a couple of things that I wanted to accomplish. So I wanted to make sure that I read through all of the PowerPoints that my teacher had provided, made sure I knew all of the important definitions, made sure I made flashcards for those definitions, and then also went to the textbook to see if there were any other definitions or any other sort of materials that would help me study for the test, because your textbook's very important, but we will talk about that more a little bit later. But set your goals, write them down a week or two before your test, and figure out what do you have to study, what do you want to study, how do you want to do on the exam, you want to get an 85 or above, you want to get a 90 or above. Like, just set those goals that you think will work for you, because honestly, having those goals in your mindset helps you to achieve a really good grade, because you know exactly what you're striving for. My second tip is to find the method that works best for you. So in high school, I don't exactly remember how I used to study. I think in high school, I remember studying, but I don't remember having to study as hard as I did in college. I was a really good student in high school, and I was in all honors and APs, so I think I remember studying for my AP bio exams and all that stuff by like just retaking exams over and over again. So find the materials and the methods that work best for you. Right now, the methods that work for me or throughout college, grad school, were flashcards, old-fashioned flashcards. So before I have a test, a week or two before, I go out to CVS, I buy a big pack of flashcards. So then what I'll do is go through all of the PowerPoints or all of the materials that the professor has provided with me. I will write down all of the definitions that I need to know, or the things that I feel like I want to reinforce, write them on the flashcards, and then that's it. Because not only are you writing it down, which is helpful, and I'll get to that a little bit later, but as you're doing flashcards, you're reinforcing the information over and over and over again. And for me, that's just the method that I choose to do. A lot of people prefer to write it on a sheet of paper and highlight and color code, which I really like as well, but I just think the flashcards work the best for me. Number 3, and this is so important, take breaks. I know you are like, oh my gosh, I just want to study, I want to get it over with, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, you could do that, and as much as you think you'll learn a ton of information in that hour and a half or 2 hours that you're going to spend studying, it is scientifically proven that that does not work. So what you should do is study for 25 to 30 minutes and then take a 15 to 30 minute break. Whatever you want to do, study, then maybe take a break and do some other homework or have a snack, and then study, and then chill out, watch a 30-minute Netflix show. Like, whatever it is, it gives your time. It gives your brain time to absorb the information that you already learned in that 25-minute period. There is such a thing as overload, and I have experienced this to the max, where I will get up at like 11 a.m. in the morning and I will start studying at that time. I will take a 30-minute break for lunch, and then that's it, and I will go till 6 p.m. until it's dinner time and just study for those like 6 hours straight. and it's so not good, and by the time it's 3 o'clock, I find myself scrolling on my phone, cleaning up my room, doing anything to get out of studying because my brain literally can't take any more information. There is a such thing as overload. So instead of trying to squeeze it all in, take mini breaks. It will help, I promise. Let your brain absorb the information that you're trying to learn. Number 4, which also goes along with the taking breaks, pace yourself. Do not wait till the last day to study for an exam, okay? It does not work. I've been there, but don't do it. If you can avoid it, don't do it. Even if you have 30 minutes each day or like 15 minutes each day just to spare to review a couple definitions, take the time. Give yourself a week and a half before an exam, especially if it's a big exam, maybe even 2 weeks before, to start studying. When I was in college and I had to do finals, I didn't have any finals for last semester for grad school, I got really lucky, but for college I would have these huge math exams and I was like, how am I gonna reinforce all of the material I've learned in the last 5 weeks in a week? You know what I mean? So I would start 2 or 3 weeks before my final exam and start doing a couple problems each day just to keep reinforcing it and keep reminding myself of the material. And then about the week before is when I started to cram within those last, or first, I don't know what I'm saying, within the first 5 days before the exam. That is when I would really get down and dirty into the material. So definitely pace yourself. The cramming, again, does not work. Your brain needs time to absorb the information. Give yourself a couple minutes each day just to, you know, review. And I know people tell you this all the time. You're like, it doesn't work. It does. It is scientifically proven. I'm telling you, when I take the time and I spread myself out, it helps me so much more to remember the information and absorb it. So space it out. Spaced repetition is the best way to study. Again, it is proven that it works. So you want to space it out and then just keep repeating and use that repetition to memorize whatever you have to memorize, or keep doing problems over and over again until you memorize them, because all in once, no bueno. Number 5, make up songs or mnemonic devices. This is my favorite way to study, and it's basically all I do. I am a music aficionado, as you can probably tell from this channel. Most of the videos I do are music related, and that's just because I'm obsessed and I want to share my music taste and what I'm loving at the moment in the music world with you guys and with the internet and with the world, just because I feel like I do have sort of a unique taste in music because I love it all. Making up songs for certain words or making up mnemonic devices, which is basically like using the letters from each word and putting it together to remember what order things go in. Using a mnemonic device will help you determine what order things have to go in. I did it last week for my exam. Basically, I had a list of 8 steps that I had to memorize, and they were pretty in-depth, and I was like, how am I gonna remember this? So what I did was I took all the letters, I searched in Google word generator so that I could put in all 8 letters, and it came up for a word for me, and then I was able to write that word on the index card and basically keep saying that word over and over, and then I could remember each step because I had the first letter of each word that I had to remember. That's usually how I like to study, especially if it's something where I need to memorize a lot for even just like one question. Mnemonic devices and songs, or I'll make up a song and just like, I don't even know. Media is a mass form of communication. And if I just like sing that over and over again, I will remember it, you know what I mean? So I will just do that, and that was actually something I had to know for my last test. So just make up a little song, little tune in your head, something that will help you remember it, because I'm somebody that remembers lyrics so well. So I know that I can memorize a song that I make up. Number 6. Use the people that you know. Ask your teachers, your professors, and your friends for past exams and or study materials. You never know what you can get when you just ask. If you have a friend that took the class, ask them if they have their past exams or past notes or what they did to study or how the exams were. Ask them for whatever information they can give you, and by asking your professor and your teachers, you never know. Sometimes they'll give you a little study guide, or they'll hand you a past exam or some example questions. You never know what you could get just by asking. Listen, the worst case is you go up to your teacher and you say, hey, do you have any past exams or past questions that I can practice on? And they can say, no, I'm not really into that. I'm not really going to give you anything. That would be kind of unfair. Okay, then that's it. But at least you tried, and you never know. Sometimes you ask professors and they'll give you extra material or hints as to what to study for, because they are seeing that you are putting the extra effort to study and try for their class. Number 7, and this is so important. Get sleep. When you are studying, you have to sleep. Again, this is scientifically proven Look it up. When you are studying, you want to make sure you get a good night's sleep, whether it's the day before the test or the week before the test, whatever it is, make sure you are trying to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, because guess what? When you sleep, that is the best time that your brain absorbs information. It is the time when your brain can actually comprehend everything that you've learned during the day and soak it in, and when you wake up the next day, you'd be surprised at how much you actually memorize. I swear to you, it works every time. Even if you decide that you want to study for an hour and then take a nap and then study more, then do it, because guess what? When you're sleeping, you are going to absorb all of that information. I know you want to cram the whole night before and pull an all-nighter and study. I'm telling you right now, you will not absorb as much information as if you got a good night's sleep. If you can't get a good night's sleep for whatever reason, at least get 2 to 3 hours or something so your brain can comprehend all of that information. But getting no sleep, not only will you be exhausted for your exam, you'll probably feel ill. When I'm tired, I feel disgusting and won't be able to recall all the information that you learned the day before. So try to get as much sleep as you can, because it's proven that when we sleep, we get to absorb all the information that we learn. Number 8 is find the best times to study that work best for you. Different times work for different people. I guess some people will find themselves to be more productive at night. I am somebody that is more productive during the daytime, not the morning necessarily. I am most productive after 12, 1 o'clock, because when I get up in the morning, I'm still groggy. I'm not a morning person. I need to have coffee, and I just don't really feel that productive. So I usually just like lay in bed and scroll on my phone, and then once I like get in the shower and like start to get my day started, then is when I feel like I can actually do some work. I know that those times during the day are the best for me. So if I know I'm gonna study, I'm gonna try to use a Saturday or Sunday to study during those times, and then if I go into the night, I go into the night, which is fine because I know I'm studying. But find the best times that work for you. If you're most productive at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, then get up, you know, an hour earlier, do what you gotta do, and then start studying at 9 and 10. This way you know that you are going to be most productive during that time, learning the most information that you can, whether that means, again, flashcards, writing something down, whatever. Make sure you find the best time that works for you. Oh, I got the wrong numbers here. Hang on, this is number 9. Hang on, my stuff is numbered wrong and I don't want to read them wrong. Number 9 is do not study on your bed. If you can help it. If you have any other area in your house, apartment, home, whatever, dorm, study anywhere else but your bed. Because it has been, again, proven, there are a lot of studies on studying, so if you want to look some of them up, you can, and look for other tips, but I'm putting them in this video so it's all compiled for you. It is proven that if you study on your bed, in your bed, under the covers, on top of the covers, whatever it is, that your brain will start to associate your bread with your bread on the mind. Brain will start to associate your bed with studying and productivity and doing things, that when you lay your head down at night, you will not be able to sleep because your brain thinks it's time to be awake and time to think and time to do things. So do not study on your bed. Also, vice versa. This is the problem I have. The problem I have is kind of the opposite, where actually when I'm studying and if I sit on my bed, if my parents are home, I don't like to study downstairs because their TV is on and it's noisy and I don't like it. I like to be in my own room, in my own comfort, so I can do whatever I want and, you know, whatever. When I study and I sit on my bed, I usually make my bed and I sit on it, I fall asleep while I'm studying, and that's because my brain associates my bed with sleep. So as I'm trying to study, I will start to doze off because my brain thinks it's time to sleep, I'm in bed. So just be careful about studying in your bed. If some other area to do it there, because you're gonna mess up your whole entire sleep schedule, and in college, ain't nobody got time for that. So study somewhere else. Number 10 is use your textbook. So this is something that I have found out more recently, or more towards the end of college and the beginning of grad school. I know a lot of people don't buy textbooks, and I get it, they're expensive, and most classes you end up not using them, and it's annoying and pointless and a waste of money, especially when textbooks are $300. Yes, if you're in high school, I'm telling you now, so if you do have the textbook though, the textbook is the greatest source for you to study for an exam. And I'm not talking about going through 100, 150 pages of the textbook to study for your first exam or second exam or whatever, but you should go to the end of every single chapter or whatever it is, every single lesson, and look at the end of that chapter and see if there are questions. Usually at the end of every chapter, there are a certain set of questions, maybe like 5 to 10 questions asking you about the chapter to analyze things or whatever it is. What you should do to help you study is write down those questions and answer them as best you can. If you can answer certain ones, good, then you know how to answer those. So you know how you would answer it on a test. If you don't, then make sure you study the material that the question asked for or whatever it is that you don't know. I have realized teachers think they're sneaky because number 1, students don't buy the textbook, and number 2, students definitely don't read the textbook if they have it. So what they do, they go to the end of the chapter, they steal a couple questions, and they slap it on their exam, and they think they're playing us. But I have discovered that teachers are doing this and professors are doing this. And even if they don't, those questions are the best way to prepare for your exam, because what's better than having these example questions from the chapter that you just learned? You know what I mean? It's related. It's not like these questions are completely unrelated. And for my last exam, I have an online textbook. I went through the textbook. I was like, let me see if there's any material here. Every single chapter had its quiz at the end, a mini quiz, so it was online. So I could go through the quiz, answer each question, and I was like, you know what? This is just a good way to study, whether he uses these or not. I went through all the questions, and guess what? When I took the exam, there were those questions that I had answered at the end of that chapter. So I'm telling you that more often than not, teachers use the questions at the end of the textbook. So use them to your advantage to do well, because most likely if your teacher doesn't use those questions, then they're gonna use questions very similar to them. Number 11 is rewrite your information. Write important info down at least 3 times because it is proven to help you retain info. I used to do this a lot in high school. I feel like I remember doing this a lot. Basically, if there was a definition or a sentence or a word that I had to know, I would write it down at least 3 times, maybe 5. So if I had to write like, all media is social media, and like maybe I couldn't remember that, I would write it down 5 times. All media is social media. All media is social media. And I would just write it down, because it is, again, proven that if you write something down, your brain will just start to memorize it. And also, I don't know if this is just a me thing, but I think I have a slightly photographic memory. I'm not somebody that can look at something once and be like, okay, got it. But I am a studier. I've never not been a studier. Things do not come easy to me that way. But if I look at an index card a couple of times, or a piece of paper a couple of times, when I take the exam, I can see the words on the paper or on the card in my head. And I'm like, oh yeah, it said this below it or this below it. So, I don't know, leave a comment down below if you can do that. I'm not sure if that's like a gift I was gifted with or blessed with. I don't know, let me know. But writing things down, proven to help you memorize certain words, sentences, whatever you need. So try that method out. If it works for you, go get it. Number 12, brain food. We all love eating, am I right? There are certain foods that are, again, scientifically proven that will help you memorize things, concentrate, all of that. Certain foods that will just improve your brain memory and function while you're studying. So I'm gonna read a couple of those off. If any of them sound good to you, good for you then. Fish, nuts, seeds, yogurt, and blueberries. They have been proven to help, whoops. They have been proven to help with concentration and memory. So if you are looking to study, you wanna get up in the morning, make a smoothie with some blueberries, or have a yogurt or parfait with some blueberries and granola, that sounds like a pretty good breakfast to me, then do that, because it's gonna help your concentration, your memory. You know, if I'm studying for a big test and I'm not really sure how to study best, I will try anything, and eating just to eat will help you improve your concentration and memory. I'm all for it. Number 13, no, sorry, 13, I'm skipping. Number 13 is know your distractions. Know what distracts you the most. If you are, well, let's go with your iPhone for a second. If you have an iPhone, then you know how much screen time you're using. You can go to your screen time, figure out what apps you spend the most time on, how many times you pick up your phone, what's the first app you open when you pick up your phone. Look at that app and look at how much like phone time you have, because trust me, it's very surprising. Mine is an average of like 7 hours a day, and I don't feel like I'm on my phone for 7 hours a day. That's a really long time. I definitely pick my phone up a lot, but not 7 hours a day. But that's what it's saying. So if you go to your screen time app, you can see what you spend the most time on. So they have a lot of these apps and websites now that can actually block certain apps, and I think Screen Time can actually do this for you, where you can block certain apps for a certain amount of time. So let's say if you're a chronic Instagrammer when you're studying, every time you pick up a flashcard, you open up Instagram because you can't focus. Have Instagram closed for an hour, have Facebook closed for an hour, have Twitter closed for an hour, whatever it is, have it closed so that every time you pick up your phone, you're like, oh, oh right, I can't. Like, Instagram won't let me on. I'll study. You know what I mean? Know what distracts you the most. If there's something in your room that distracts you, remove it. If there's something in your house that distracts you, your dog, don't remove your dog. I don't know. Just don't have the dog in the same room as you. Figure out what distracts you the most and remove it from your life for that hour or hour and a half that you're studying, or like I said, 25 minutes, and then take a break. Do whatever you need to do to stay the most focused you can. Okay, and last but not least is reward yourself, okay? I love to reward myself when I'm studying. They say not to reward yourself with food. I've done it. Basically what I'll do is, okay, if I can get through this whole stack of flashcards at least once, I'll have a piece of chocolate. Or I can do lunch because I studied at least once, before lunch and after lunch. You know what I mean? They say it's not good, but I don't know. I like to do that because I'm like, oh yeah, food, lunch, I'm starving, food, lunch. Like, I'll get through these cards and figure out like these definitions so that I can eat. Whatever it is, I don't know, reward yourself with whatever. A lot of people will read a textbook and put a gummy bear after paragraph. I think that's really cute to reward yourself. So you always know that there's something waiting for you at the end of studying. You know what I mean? Nobody likes to study. It's so not fun. It's so not ideal. But it's a part of life and we all need to do it. So try to reward yourself if you can, because I know it's a long process. Do whatever makes you feel good. If you want to work out after, maybe that's your reward. Whatever it is, just reward yourself because it's a long process and we're all in it together. So reward yourself with whatever makes you feel the best. Alright guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope you guys found some of these tips helpful. Good luck on your midterms, or whenever you're watching this, maybe it's finals time, I don't know. Good luck on your finals, exams, papers, whatever it is. And again, I hope you found these helpful and try to employ some of these in your life. Again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my channel and you can follow me down below at all of my social media. And I will see you guys next week for another video. Bye!
All the eyes on me, all the eyes are on me, yeah. All the eyes on